On May 20th, 2026, in the quiet suburbs of Escondido, California, a home on East Mission Avenue stood covered in American flags and political banners. Locals simply called it the Trump House. That afternoon, the homeowner, 69-year-old U.S. Army veteran Carrie Sharon, was brutally beaten right outside his front door. He suffered life-threatening injuries, and his family says he is not expected to survive. Before we examine how a suburban yard became a crime scene, I want to thank today's sponsor, Shasta Unfiltered. They are dedicated to serving the North State with honest news and deep dive reporting on the stories that matter most. Sharon's wife, Maria Garcia, believes the attack was a direct result of their visible political support. While the family had faced vandalism before, local authorities have not yet officially confirmed a political motive for the assault. This tragedy raises a difficult question. Was this a random act by a disturbed neighbor, or a symptom of a national ideological environment that has turned political expression into a dangerous provocation? The man arrested for attempted murder is 32-year-old Thomas Caleb Butler. Like the man he attacked, Butler is a military veteran who served in the U.S. Navy. Butler's background makes a simple partisan explanation difficult. He is a registered Republican and, according to acquaintances, a supporter of Donald Trump. He also suffers from severe PTSD. To understand how violence erupts between people on the same side, we have to look at what sociologists call a permission structure. This diagram illustrates how broad cultural rhetoric can influence individual behavior. In this model, high-intensity media narratives and social hostility filter down to the local level. Even if an individual shares the victim's politics, the environment of constant conflict makes certain symbols, like the Trump House, flashpoints for instability. When this atmosphere of hostility meets someone struggling with severe PTSD, the result is unpredictable. The culture frames political displays as a source of tension, and that tension provides a target for an internal mental health crisis to explode. Mental illness does not exist in a vacuum. It is shaped by a cultural environment that treats political dissent as a threat, creating a world where even a veteran's flags can be seen as a justification for violence. This very environment is driven by what many call Trump derangement syndrome. It is a pattern where policy disagreements are replaced by the total demonization of a leader and his supporters. This response is actively sustained by a cycle of media hysteria and activist rhetoric. When the public square is constantly told that a specific group is an existential danger, the temperature of every neighborhood rises. If you value reporting that digs into the roots of these stories, please like the video, subscribe, and visit ShastaUnfiltered.com to support our work. When society begins to see political displays as a provocation, the risk to ordinary citizens increases. We see the consequences in workplace discrimination, vandalism, and physical confrontations over yard signs and banners. The violence in Escondido is a local manifestation of a national rise in political volatility. This atmosphere of dehumanization has reached the highest levels of our society, mirrored by 3 publicized assassination attempts on President Trump. If "punch a Trump supporter" is treated as an acceptable punchline by media elites, we cannot be surprised when unstable individuals interpret it as a literal command. While the national debate continues, Carrie Sharon remains in a hospital bed, fighting for survival. His situation is a stark reminder that political hatred carries a real, physical cost. Sharon's only act was to exercise his First Amendment rights. He chose to display his values openly, a right that should be guaranteed to every citizen, regardless of the local political climate. Critics often dismiss the idea of Trump derangement syndrome as a right-wing slur. However, incidents like this demonstrate the violent consequences that occur when political expression is treated as a provocation. True patriotism requires us to defend the rights of our neighbors to support their leaders without the fear of a mob or a deranged attack. Political expression is not a crime. When we allow the dehumanization of our opponents to become the cultural norm, we guarantee that no one's foundational rights are safe.